Shri. So simply you can address me as Vibhu, marketer and business developer at Envoki. We look beyond reality. So welcome to Monopoly session of Envoki. So sustainability, it has to be a way of life, to be a way of business, right? So perception of sustainability is widely varying from place to place, from industry to industry, and even from mind to mind. So yeah, here today we have a sparkling enterprise with us to share their perception. So yeah, today's speaker of the day is Kushi, the co-founder of Sparkling Sustainable Enterprise Amacity World. So who manufactures 100% organic cotton customizable apparels, which is God certified. So hi Kushi.
Hi, thank you so much for the warm introduction.
So yeah, thank you for accepting the invitation, first of all. So we are delighted to have you on board with us, and we'll start by making yourself known, please.
All right. So, like you said, I'm Khushi. I'm one of the co-founders of Amacity, and Amacity is almost 1 year old. So it's going to be like 1 year. It's been 1 year since we started planning and prepping, and we're going to complete 1 year after in August when
Great.
we actually launched our products.
Okay.
So we are a team of, we started off with 5 co-founders and we're still 5 co-founders. So that's an unusual number for co-founders. Usually they're like 1 or 2, but we are 5 people. And then we started growing our team and now we're a strong team of 8 to 10 people. And then we have our interns as well. So that's a little about us. And yeah, like, let's go, tell me like what you want to know and I can help you with it.
Yeah, sure. So actually, first of all, I'll start by asking, like, what is your business about? Like, completely, your vision, your mission. So share some insight about it.
Right. So, it's a very odd thing, like how we started basically. So we're part of Indian School of Business and Finance, which is our college, right? Which is a affiliate of University of London, London School of Economics. So we're part of that. So basically the management just asked us to open a merchandise shop. And when we were doing that, in that process, we realized that, let's make it sustainable, because LSC really stands for like a sustainability, it's like a sustainability powerhouse. Like, it promotes sustainability and all of its causes. So we thought, okay, yeah, let's make our organization sustainable. So we wanted to start off with like college merchandise, and then while we were doing it, we realized that we enjoyed it so much, being business management and economics and management students, that we wanted to make a change on a greater level. So we thought, let's take it separately. So we decided to like de-group ourselves or ungroup ourselves from the college and like start off fresh. So we decided to do that, and we started off with apparel, started making t-shirts with 100% organic cotton. So first we ventured out into clothing, and then we later realized that there's a vast avenue of things that we can venture out into. So we moved on to other things. For example, when COVID came, we moved into sustainable masks. Then we moved into essential products like toothbrushes and combs. So we're trying to
Mhm.
venture out and trying to make each and every aspect of a person's life more sustainable. So that's our end goal.
That's really great. Yeah. So actually, I was going through the page of Amacity World, and I was really fond of one thing, that the bond that you five people shared. So I started from the very first post of your page, and then I felt so delighted that I can see the unity and the hard work that you have put, and it was a beautiful framework. So your enterprise is really doing well. So I would like to know, like, where it is based. Where is this enterprise based?
Right. So we're a registered company. So we're registered out of Pune, Maharashtra. But our main operational headquarters are in Delhi, and we're an online store. So we deliver pan India, and we also do worldwide shipping.
That's great. So, like, you told us, like, all of your college mates have really discussed about it, and you all have started. But, like, when did you come up with this idea? So there must be some sparkling point, right? Like this time, yeah, we have to do this. So that point.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're 5 people, right? So one of the co-founders, Yukta, she has been into the concept of sustainability from far before we even knew that it was a thing. So she practices it. So she practices it thoroughly. And when we were starting out and we thought that, okay, let's make it green, it basically, when the pandemic happened and everything, there were like, a number of accusations or like conspiracy theories, like how it happened in the first place. So, I myself was reading a report which said that in the lockdown itself, the government had approved like, 30 plus development projects, which means that, like 30 forest or 30 forests, or like there was a lot of deforestation basically. And the report said that we're living in an age of pandemics. That's because, the man and the animal interaction has increased so much because of external factors that they're bound to be such incidents where pandemics arise, right?
Yeah.
So like that's when we realize that, we really need to take control in our hands. And, this may seem like a small thing that, we're just like, targeting a specific market, or we're just, right now we're just a community of 1,000 plus people. And, how can just 1,000 people make a change in such a big community or such a big world? But then we realized that the difference starts from us. So I personally wasn't somebody who was following sustainability thoroughly, and same for the other 3 co-founders. But Yukta told us and she educated us more about it. And that's when we realized that this is something that we really need to start learning about, because like we target Gen Z, and that's Gen Z and millennials, because we feel like that those are the ideal people to bring about change for tomorrow, right? Because if you try and alter their mindset or try and alter their lifestyle habits and, just everything about their lifestyle into a more sustainable way, the future is bound to be more greener and more sustainable. So that's when we decided that, like that peak point where the pandemic was at its peak. So we started off during that time, which is really odd for businesses because, it's really hard to operate during the pandemic, but we decided we want to do this and it's going to be a long-term thing for us.
Hey, that's really great. Now you're hearing about how it started. Actually, every business went down during this pandemic, but you said you just arised from because of this pandemic. So it's really great. It's kind of motivation for us also. Like, so yeah, we have to know the darkness behind and just bring up a light, which we can do it definitely. So, like, what were the challenges you faced while its inception?
Right. So I think the first challenge would be that none of us come from fashion backgrounds. None of us even have none of us have even started or learned, or we don't even know the F of fashion designing or fashion management, fashion anything, because we're all pure econ and business students, right? So the first thing was coming up, absorbing the fact that we're going to do something that that is completely new to us. So we started to read about sustainability, and the main challenge I would say would be 2 things. One would be pricing, and the other would be sourcing. So sourcing basically, like everybody claims to be sustainable these days, but most brands greenwash, right? So we were really firm on the fact that we want to have certifications. That's something that makes the brand accountable for the actions in case they say that they're sustainable, but in reality they're not. And so we were looking for suppliers from who we could source like cotton and other sustainable fabrics from, and we had a hard time doing that, especially in the middle of the pandemic, because like it's really hard to communicate over phone, because in lockdown you can't physically go and cross check the fabric or cross check is there good working conditions for the laborers, everything, because sustainability also means being ethical and being just, right? So it's not just about the cloth you buy or just about certification, but also where it is procured from, how are the working conditions. So we took like at least 2 months to just find a supplier that ticks all boxes for us. So that was one big thing. And the second thing is that like anybody who's in the fashion industry knows that the MOQs, the minimum order quantities, are usually very high. And we being a small business, we didn't start up with that much of capital. Like we literally invested money on our own. So like all of us have invested little because we thought that we want to do this right, and we want to invest a little bit of our own so that we are more committed and dedicated to this. So like the order quantities were somewhere like you have to buy 100 meters of fabric or something like that, and that's really costly for a small business to start with, right? So when you do that, that's essentially what makes your end product more expensive, right? And that is because there is no demand for it. I mean, people usually go for cheaper alternatives. Like, I don't want to name brands, but cheaper alternatives that exist in the market, right? And that's because they're more accessible, and A, more accessible, and B, there is no brand that time catered towards Gen Z and millennials. The fashion was very different. Like when somebody said sustainability, people would directly link them to known brands like Okai and Fab India, which cater to a very different audience, right? So probably we wanted to make sustainability more trendy, more fun, more original, and more towards more something that attracts Gen Z and millennials. You know, we don't want it to be mundane or raw, which is which is the initial perception of what sustainable fashion is.
Yeah, true, true.
So which is why there is no demand for it, right? So we thought that, you know, we want to create a demand, and because there is no demand, the products end up being so expensive, because whatever companies are there in the market, you still need to make sure that you're afloat, right? So
Yeah.
you need to charge certain amount of margins. So I think we wanted to make it affordable. That was our biggest goal, that making of sustainability affordable for Gen Zs and millennials. Because if we're looking at like you and I, we don't earn so much on our own, right? We will get to a point eventually where we make our own money, but
Yeah.
right now it's still very in the initial stages, right? So we
Yeah.
wanted to make it affordable for everybody. Unlike brands who charge like 1200, 1500 for sustainable clothing, we wanted to make it more affordable, right? So that was our that was where we struggled a lot, making it affordable and sourcing it from the right places.
Great, that's really great. You know, the some of the challenges that you faced, I can't even imagine how the solution I would bring it out. So you have really faced it greatly. And you know, when you say said about the raw materials and even keeping a track of the labors and all, it is so difficult. So among all these compliments and these things that you have faced, you know, so how would you think that your idea, your vision, the goal of the company is helping the environment, and like what is the sustainability aspect incorporated in your business?
Right. So, the sustainability aspect that we have chosen, like that's something that has to do with, like I said, certifications, right? That's something we have a fair trade certificate, which means that, you know, wherever we procure from, whatever supplier, they follow a very healthy working environment. They work in a very healthy way, right? Like fair trade, like minimum wages are being met, the
Yeah.
working conditions are good, all hygiene factors are ticked off. So that's something. And when we conveyed this vision to our community, like we started off with just, I mean, I know for a fact that we were stuck on 500 followers. Like, you know, we were just like, I know followers isn't everything, but that's a part of your community, right? You're building
Yeah,
a community
true.
at the end of the day. And compared to other brands who were literally doing nothing, and they had like, you know, 4K 5K followers, and we were just like, you know, we don't even need to compare ourselves to them, because we're trying to build a community of our own, right? There is no market, I mean, you know, there's not a segment, like market segment or a target
Yeah,
market
yeah,
that caters towards, you know, there's not like set audience. Okay, this is the audience for, you know, Gen Z who want to, you know, follow sustainable lifestyle and who want to buy, you know, sustainable clothing. So we had to make that from scratch. Our aim was to, you know, change people's perspective and make that change in their head, you know, to follow conscious consumerism and move away from fast fashion. And
yeah.
I think that's what, you know, connected with people, the fact that we're trying to educate them rather than selling the product. I think so that would be one of the main things that we do. Because on our page, if you see, you know, we're trying to educate them constantly. You know, what are the 5 ways you can go sustainable, 5 ways you'll know how a brand is sustainable, 5 ways to make sure that your lifestyle is sustainable, or how your kitchen is more sustainable, and each and every part that is not even related to fashion, right? Because our end goal is not selling the product. Our end goal is making sure that they're more woke and more aware about sustainability and, you know, factors, and what all can happen in like just mere years if they don't follow or don't take certain precautions. Because, you know, we're already going down this road where it's not, you know, ending, it's not looking good for any of us, you know, when
Yeah.
either it's like global warming, either it's climate change, anything for that matter. And it's only you know, it's only a matter of fact for like certain years that it's going to get much more worse. So our end goal is to make people more aware about it. And I think that's what connected with people, that the sustainability is not just limited to, you know, certifications, but also about educating people, make sure that they're more, you know, like aware about certain stuff rather than just selling products. I think that's what connected with people the most.
That's really great. I'm just awestruck, you know. Actually, as you said, only when we hear the news is like in Gulf, the incident that happened in Gulf or in German, that melting of the glaciers. Only then people are really becoming aware that yeah, we have to save our environment. We have to take some steps. So until then, we'll just go behind this product less, the costless products, and then which is very affordable. So all such things. So very good way of giving them aware. So you are creating awareness in your page as well as teaching them and making them know that okay, such things are important. So that's really great. That's so true. That is what people
Right.
need nowadays, rather than products, because we have hundreds and hundreds of companies where they just sell the products. But your idea and your unique point, I really believe that this is your unique selling point. So, do you have any other unique selling points, or do you think you have some other uniqueness in you?
I think this is one of our greatest USPs. Trying to make people more aware about stuff, like you said. I think that's something that uh,
Yeah.
that's a foundation for us. Like that was an X factor that we thought that we want to build a community on. And I think the other factor would be the fact how we connect with our audience. So, for example, I think one of the people say that you measure a business or an online store based on the number of followers that they have or the website reach that they have, but we have really come to believe that that is not true. Like the number of followers don't justify if your business is profitable or if your business is doing good, if it's stable. I
Yeah,
think what
yeah,
matters
correct.
is connecting with your community and repeat orders. We're so grateful that we've gotten repeat orders, which really shows that people um, they really connect with our brand, they trust our products, and they want to keep incorporating them in their lifestyle, just not like one time but like frequently, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's repeat orders for masks, whether it's repeat order for t-shirts, whether it's repeat order for our brushes and our combs. And that motivates us to bring in more products, that motivates us to bring in different aspects of sustainable lifestyle, sustainable fashion, sustainable living, bring it to them so that they could make small bits of their lifestyle more sustainable. So I think that's something, because whenever we talk to a person and we ask them for feedback, that's something we really do, whether it's on mail, whether it's on Instagram. We
Yeah.
always text them, hey, can you give us a feedback, how do you like the product? So they always say that we love your customer service, because we try to connect with our customer and we try to answer as many questions as we can. And I'm sure every brand does, that's their own identity, how they connect with their customers. But the fact that we're getting repeat orders, that motivates us, and that assures us or gives us a validation that yeah, we're doing something right.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we have really accepted, that is not the number of followers that actually measure the success of a business or a venture, but also how much repeat orders you have, how much are you earning, is your business profitable after a point. So these things also matter on the back end, which people aren't able to see through Instagram, right? But that's okay. I mean, that's a process. And I mean, kudos to the people who have thousands of followers. They're growing in their own space, but we're growing in our own space, knowing that sustainability is such a small market in India right now.
Yeah, you get a double happiness in it actually when people start ordering again and again, and when you get such beautiful feedback. So that is one happiness that we get, and another happiness is that we are justifying to our job. So as you are saying, like you're following the sustainability, right? So that brings some special happiness in us. We are saving our country. We are doing good for the people. We are doing good for the world. So that is another mindful of happiness that we get here. And another question that I would like to ask is like, why do you think that people should buy your products? So some insights for the people to us.
Right. So, I'll just categorize our product. So, earlier we started off with just solid t-shirts. Okay. And then, they were doing good. We sold more than 500 solid t-shirts in just, over 4 months of our production.
Great.
And yeah. And, after that, the sales went down a little, right? So we as a team, we were discussing that, what's going wrong. It's been so good for so long. So, we realized the fact that a person may not wear t-shirts every day, I mean, obviously, like me, like you and me, we're not wearing t-shirts right now. We're wearing
Yeah.
different apparels, right? And
Yeah.
when you're asking a person to be sustainable, you can't expect them to just have one choice. So that's when we realize that, we need to come up with a variety of products that, invite people or make them, attracts them to buy or choose sustainability, right? So I think that's when we realized, that's when we shifted to masks, which was a new product, which was the second product that we launched. Then we moved on to toothbrushes and combs, right? So I think what differentiates our brand, or what a USP or whatever you want to call it is, like why they should, purchase from us, is because A, we're spot on with certifications, right? B, we make it really affordable. Like, we ourselves have really less margins, because right now on this stage of a business, we're not trying to make profits. We're just trying to grow, and we're just trying to connect with as many people as we can, because we're not, as like unlike other businesses, like some businesses, we're not doing this out of a need, right? We all have other revenue streams that are our bread and butter. Like we're all in like we're, you know, going to pass out from college right now, and there are other ways. So, you know, for us, it's not about profit making, it's not about, you know, earning big bucks. It's about creating affordable products with the best quality, you know, because a lot of people, you know, if they're cheap, people assume that the quality is not nice, or if they're too expensive, people assume that okay, they're not going to buy it because it's expensive. So we're trying to find a mix of that where we provide the highest quality and at the same time the price is affordable for every person to buy. So I think that's why, and at the same time our aim is to make our products very you know, stylish or trendy or attractive, aesthetic, whatever you want to call it, right? Sustainable does not always have to be green or, you know, like blue, like
Yeah,
earthy colors.
yeah, right.
It can also be different, right? So we launched like different colors in our t-shirts as well: wine, sky blue, lavender. In our masks also, even our toothbrushes, they're not plain bamboo toothbrushes, you know, all the colors. We have brown, we have blue, we have lemon, we have cherry, we have snow. So we try to come up with like fun ways of bringing out sustainability, and I think that's what connects with people, and I think that's why people come to our page to buy products.
You know, it's really impressing to, so from the start till the end you're maintaining that fun creative product, so you're sticking to that and you're working on it, so that's really inspiring. And how are you available to the people, like when can they order the products of yours?
Right. So, so all the t-shirts and the essentials, which are the combs and the brushes, and we also have more products coming up. You can buy them on our Instagram page at Emacity World, and you can also buy them on our website, which is emacity.shop. So both platforms you can buy them on. We also have tie-ups with Amazon, so few of our products are there as well. For example, our Emacity Essentials, and we're also on platforms like Loopify, which is an online store just for sustainable businesses, right? So that's a place, that's your go-to place in case you want to buy sustainable products,
Yeah,
not just us but any other sustainable product. So we
yeah.
try to, you know, and we also have like other small associations from where like Ecophase and other websites where, you know, we have tied up with them because we want to try to reach maximum audience, you know. So that's why we've tied up with small other small businesses and other businesses where you can buy our products on our platform, but primarily if you want to buy, you can visit our website or our Instagram page.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So definitely on hearing all your inspirational, the messages that you give us, the learnings that you bring it out in your page. So definitely I will suggest the people to go look into the Emacity World page, and please just go through, and definitely you'll get the urge to buy the products from them. So yeah, while I was seeing all the posts and products, so I read a lot that know what you buy. So that really picked my interest. So could you explain like what inspired you to put that know what you buy?
Right. So the brains behind this would be Yukta. I would say I would give her full credit right now, like open full disclosure. But I think what we all had in mind when we did that was that you know, you should know what you're buying. For example, is that product is that product long lasting? For example, right now you buy a t-shirt for 300 rupees, right? But is it going to be long lasting, that lasts for you more than a year? Because after a year you're going to have to buy another t-shirt for 300. Rather just buy a t-shirt for 500 or 600 that is going to last you 2 or more years, right? So how durable is the product, right? And that also comes a lot about quality and how, you know, like quality wise how the product is. Second,
Right.
if you're buying, just see if the brand is you know, like if it's a small business, then make sure that, you know, they're putting all the necessary information out. And if it's a normal sized a big business or whatever you want to call it, make sure that they have certifications, because that's extremely important. You know, I won't say that you can make something 100% sustainable. That's not possible in today's time. But even if it's 90% or 95% sustainable, you're good to go, right? And we're not, our aim is not to make sure that we transform your entire closet, like all 100 items in your closet to be sustainable. Our aim is that even if you have 1 or 2 items in your closet that are sustainable, you're halfway there. You're already halfway there, you know. So that's something that, you know, see the certifications, see with the working conditions, read about the business. What are the news saying? Is the news saying that, you know, the workers are getting exploited?
Yeah.
Are they exporting their goods from countries like Bangladesh and, you know, man, any like smaller countries where the minimum wage is really less and people work in really you know, like hard working conditions, where they're exploited, where they're not given enough pay? See if the businesses are related to those countries, like if they're made in that, like if the product is made in Bangladesh or made in India, because, you know, people are not treated fairly or justly when you buy from such businesses. Also read about like I said, prices, certifications, the news, read about the reviews. For example, are the customers repurchasing a product? Is the comment section full with like how good the product is, or is it only emojis, or there are no comments at all? Because a lot of people nowadays do this, they try to fill up the comment section, their reviews, where there are no people interacting with each other, it's just blank. At the same time, is the business, if it's a small business or an online business, make sure that it's not a fake business. Because a lot of times people just put up product pictures from Google, and there is no face. Until unless there's a face of your business or on the page, the audience won't be able to connect, right? So make sure that the business you're buying from is authentic. And at the same time, sustainability is a big factor, so always look for that. It's not something that you can do over a day, like I myself, I was a shopping freak. I used to buy so much from online stores like Myntra or Zara or such like. But in the the past 2 years, especially since lockdown, my shopping habits have changed excessively. Like I've hardly bought something from these places, and I've tried to thrift. Even if you can't find whatever you want from sustainable brands, because they might be expensive, they might not match your taste, you can probably go second hand, probably start renting clothes. Try to go as sustainable as you can. Thrifting is a great solution. There are so many online stores, even websites that have great reviews and who have great availability of products. So look for them. Try to when you're buying something, just know that, will this add any value into my life? Do I have a similar product like this in my cupboard? Like, do I actually need it? So all these things, ask these questions to yourself, and if you think that you're thinking too long, you shouldn't buy that probably. So I think that's something that really hit us, and that's what we wanted to convey.
That was a beautiful message to the audience who will be viewing this video and even to us. So our biggest challenge in this century is to make an idea which looks like an abstract, that is sustainable development, right? And turn it into a reality for all the people living in this world. So Amacity World is doing a lot in it. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. It really went well, and I loved this session, to be honest. Yeah, it was really a great session. So thank you, Khushi.
Thank you so much. And I speak from the entire team's part. Like, this is not just me, this is all 4 or 5 of my co-founders and 5 of my team members from all of our sides. Thank you so much for having us. We need more people like you who try to, take our like vision and vision of other small sustainable businesses to the world, because that's really needed. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you again.